This is a video. JRD talks Bruce Lee. Oh, I think he was a child star. You didn't know that? Yeah, he started. Well, his dad and his mom. No, his dad did. I think plays like Chinese opera. He did Chinese plays, and then he got his son into it too, Bruce Lee, and he started as a child actor. So that's why his acting's pretty good. He's more than just a, like a martial arts guy. He can really act. And then from there, he came to America, right? You know the story. Mm-hmm. And then he went to school in Seattle. Was it Seattle? Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he met his wife, and then that's when he opened his martial arts school. And the movies, he had a conflict with the older martial arts instructors. They didn't want him teaching the white people or teaching anybody.
Yeah, their culture.
Their culture, right. So then he had a fight. They say it's true, and the wife says that it happened. They actually had a fight where they picked their best guy, and they pit him against Bruce Lee, and if Bruce Lee lost, he would have to shut down his schools. But we all know what happened. But
yeah, they were, what's another thing would trip me out, they said that he had a brother.
Yeah,
But a lot of people didn't know that.
No, well, of course not, because, in the shadows of Bruce Lee, everybody's going to be overlooked. That guy is... Imagine, even till this day, how popular he is. Isn't that crazy?
Well, he was the inventor of... remember how they were showing him getting that shock treatment?
Yeah.
And all that? He was the originator of that, they were saying.
Really? I didn't know that.
And they said that's why a lot of hospitals use it now, for back problems and all that kind of stuff.
To stimulate the muscles and all that? And,
because he was doing that. What else they were showing about a lot of his things came from UFC, that he did UFC uses.
Well, he didn't know it was UFC, but now they can trace it back to, because he was into, he wanted to combine boxing, Western boxing with, kung fu and then, karate and Korean martial arts. And so from all that, he developed a style, right? Jeet Kune Do, and then he kind of was able to, if he was fighting somebody, he would adapt. Maybe not adapt, but he would change up and use different techniques to counter attack them, you know what I mean?
It would trip me out that Ip Man was his sensei in the beginning.
Right, I know, that's what they say. Isn't that crazy?
And the Ip Man is the man. Have you ever seen any of his movies, anything on him, like the Grandmaster or the Ip Man? You saw how smooth he was. He was like, whoa. And they showed the live pictures with him.
What was his style called? Wing Chun or something?
Yeah, Wing Chun.
Yeah. It was like with the hands and...
He went with more speed and accuracy than power.
Bruce Lee learned from the best. But he developed his own style later on. He kind of took off and...
Yeah, this guy on the documentary was saying that Bruce Lee went and tried to learn Kung Fu from him, and he told him that he would teach him how to do the cha-cha-cha dancing.
Right,
And after the guy was teaching him, Bruce Lee already mastered what he taught him in a couple of days, what takes normal people weeks to learn. Yeah. So
the guy was hardcore. There was I was watching because when you go on YouTube and you look up something on Bruce Lee, it starts leading you to other. Mm-hmm. And then it took me to, you remember Jim Kelly, the black guy that was in he was a martial artist too, and he was in Enter the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
The big afro.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what year this is from. Maybe a couple of years ago, and even to this day, he talks highly about Bruce Lee, that he was a real deal. That, people don't know how often he was challenged out in the streets by these people that, I guess they didn't believe he was that good, so they would confront him in the streets, and he would actually fight them in the streets.
Yeah. But
none of it's filmed, obviously, because they didn't have, cell phones where you could just whip out your camera.
Yeah.
But he said he was kicking people's asses left and right. Not that but because they confronted him, they came up to him.
They even said during when they were making that movie, what was it, Enter the Dragon? They said the students would challenge him, and he would go ahead and he would fight them, and when it was over, he would say, "Are you ready?" And they go, "Yeah," and he would have them resume.
Yeah.
He was you know, when you look at somebody like that, you would figure he would be real, like a real ass.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the opposite. He's really, you know, he knew his stuff and he took pride in his stuff.
Right.
What he knew, but yet he was a real humble man.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to him it was like fighting. It's not so much well, you're not fighting because you're aggressive. You're fighting because you have skills and you want to test your skills against the best. And people saw him as the best, so they wanted to see, how do I match up against Bruce Lee? I hear so many things about him. Is he just acting for the movies? Is it just, you know, like stunts? But they would figure out right away, no, this guy practices what he preaches. He don't mess around.
I think that's why he got that aneurysm. He kept on putting too much stress on himself to try to, because he wanted to be the fastest man. He wanted to, you know, he just tried to push himself more and more. Even when
it's always a mystery. They talk about his dad. There's so many mysteries and so many people with all these rumors. And
his daughter's still making movies.
Yeah, his daughter is the one keeping, you know, the I guess you call it the Bruce Lee legacy alive. You know, she's always promoting. You know, he has a museum, I think, in Seattle, and she's always promoting his. Well, he has T-shirts and, you know, merchandise, and I guess there's always movies in development. Everybody wants to make a movie about Bruce Lee.
They're supposed to be coming out with a new one.
Really? They had one recently, but it was more. It was like Bruce Lee playing second supporting role to the Ip Man. It was more about Ip Man, wasn't it? I think it came out a couple of years ago, or maybe 2 years ago. And I thought that was produced by Shannon Lee. I think her name's Shannon. But it's actually, she was working on a different movie.
Well, they showed
focused more on his early life. I don't remember.
Well, they showed the Ip Man, the number 3, where he fights Mike Tyson and Bruce. You know the
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, well, Mike Tyson. You know, he plays a guy in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they have a fight scene with each other with the guy that plays. Cool? It's a pretty good movie, you know.
I'll check it out. I'll look it up on Netflix.
Yeah, Ip Man 3. It's pretty good. But it shows how Bruce Lee, you know, like he makes, not the real one, but the guy that portrays him, makes like a guest appearance in there.
Oh, okay. So that was
stuff. Yeah. And
small cameo.
He was saying that, but with Bruce, he was, you know, what tripped me out with the ultimate fighting, and then they were saying even with the, what is it, that bodybuilding, the Mr. Universe and all that, they would focus because there was things that he did, you know, like when they were showing the scenes with his back, how he would make his wings and all that, and they said that they went and started using that portraying into their for their body
posing routine.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I was tripping out on that.
Yeah, he was ripped, but he wasn't very heavy. He was like
he was
130. I don't know, 135. But the guy was solid though.
They said his house in, where was he at, in China, in Hong Kong? Was it Hong Kong?
Oh, he was there making movies.
No, when he was a kid.
Movies.
When he was a kid.
Oh, when he was a kid, yeah.
They turned his house into a museum there. His childhood house.
That's pretty cool. That's someplace I like to go visit. But he's buried here in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but he's buried here.
His wife kept him here.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, she had the final say. But I know there's memorials in Hong Kong and over there for him too. It'd be nice to go visit. I like to visit his gravesite in Seattle, Washington, and then it would be cool to see his childhood home. And I think the museum that his daughter runs is in Seattle, Washington too. I could be wrong, but I'd like to go visit that. Because she has, if you look it up on YouTube, there's that guy, Boss Rutan, he's an MMA fighter. He goes and he talks to Shannon Lee, and she's showing him, they're kind of like logs, journals, handwritten by Bruce Lee that he kept of all his exercises, of his daily exercises, handwritten, and he would break down all the exercises, how many push-ups he did, how many sit-ups, and you know what I mean? He would catalog all these, and she has them right there in a glass case. Imagine? That'd be pretty cool. I wonder how much that would cost to own. I don't even think she would ever sell those. Huh?
Nah. You know, that's almost as you trying to collect the Elvis and Beatles CD.
Right, yeah.
You know, the music that they did.
Price is probably out of this world, out of touch for me. I know that. But that's the place I like to go. I don't know you're a Bruce Lee fan.
Oh yeah. I was actually watching The Big Boss last night.
Really? I know. I still watch those. I like Return of the Dragon's always good. Are they called Way of the Dragon? The one with Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
Yeah.